Alright, let's see if that did it. Can anybody see or hear me right now? Let me know. Hopefully our audio and video is good. Let's see. Waiting on response. Waiting on response. Excellent. Alright, beautiful. Welcome to Paleontologizing, everybody. Hopefully this is not a super short stream. We've got a storm cloud rolling in here. It looks like it might just miss us, but you can see it dumping some rain there. We've already gotten a few drops. But yeah, welcome to Wyoming. And welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and whether you're watching live right now, hello chat, or whether you're watching later on in the VOD or on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. The whole point of doing these live streams is to show you how we dig up dinosaurs in the field, to do some cool paleontological outreach. And hopefully the weather will allow us to do that today. It looks like this cloud's mostly going to miss us. We might get lucky here. These things are all super localized, and we might just squeak by with maybe a few sprinkles. We'll see. Anyway, like I said, I'm glad you're here, everybody. And Ceratopsian 2 days in a row? Yes, indeed, Colin. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. You're right at the beginning. I'd show you the horns that we have, but they're covered up right now by a tarp, just in case. Oh, I felt a raindrop on my leg. Trying to protect these things from the rain. This will pass in a few minutes, and then we can take that down and I can show you. But glad you're here, everybody. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Oh, getting some more raindrops. I might go hunker down over there for a minute and hope that all the gear is okay to get a little bit wet. You know, it's not supposed to be super fragile. I think we'll be fine. I'm just gonna go over here. Maybe up in that gully. Take some shelter from the rain. And this should pass right over us, I hope, and we'll be back to normal in just a minute. But welcome to Paleontologizing, everybody. This is fieldwork. This is how it goes sometimes. Yeah. And are we going to jacket the horns? Espada Slouch? Not today. We're working on another jacket. We got to get a bottom jacket on it. And then we're going to be doing maybe a quick cap on the horns. We probably won't do that today, but we'll see. And then we've got to take down some more overburden, because the horn seems to be going down into the back wall of the quarry. So we've got to move that back wall back further in order to be able to get the horns out. And yeah. And tone 720, this is just how it goes, you know? It's, yeah. The weather in a place like this is really unpredictable. The daily forecast might be good for like a general sense of what temperature it'll be, but, you know, it might say thunderstorms and then you see a bunch of thunderstorms all around you, none of them hit you. Or it might say clear sunny skies and then you get a thunderstorm. We did get some thunder earlier. I could hear it. But, yeah, just a few lightning strikes. Not much. Nothing too bad. And Ava Little says, which side are we on today? The Ceratopsian side. Yeah. Just like yesterday. It's funny, just as we were packing up yesterday, and Ethan came up to look at the site, he took a look at one of the bones that I was working on in the morning, and then Quinn was working on in the afternoon. And it's a big, pretty substantial bone. I saw it, you know, I was working on it in the morning time, and I didn't dare let myself get my hopes up thinking it was a horn, but it seems like that's what it is. We've got horns on our horned dinosaur, and in a little bit I'll show you once this rain passes. But we're getting some drops here. I might even go hunker down over there, or I could just kind of stand like this, protect the camera and the encoder with my body. There we go. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, good stuff. And is lightning a concern with metal tools? Yeah, definitely. Lightning's one of the things that can really kill you dead out here. but we haven't heard any for a while. The center of the storm is way over there. We're just catching the very outskirts of it right here. And we're not too concerned. These things blow through pretty quickly in this part of the world. Time to get your shower. There you go, Spiffiness, yeah. Maybe I should have delayed the stream by about half an hour so we wouldn't have to deal with this, but anyway, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're here. Let's endure this rain together. As brief as it is, hopefully. Yeah. And FFEJ Warrior says, what would you consider your best find? That's a question I've been getting a lot this summer. In 2012, one of my first times ever out prospecting, I found a new species of Ceratopsian dinosaur. Hopefully that gets published sometime soon. But that was a banner day for sure. I was really excited about that. You're trying to protect the camera from the rain. Cross your fingers. These raindrops don't damage any of the equipment. Live broadcast, you know how these things go. This is what it's like doing field work. Okay, the rain seems to be letting up a little bit. Did anyone get any tattoos last night? No, Ava Little, our tattoo artist, Josh, was feeling a little under the weather. Whoop, here comes some more rain. Gonna put that over you, chat. Let's hope this doesn't damage my phone. Okay, we're gonna go like this. Let me take this off. Oh. It's letting up a little bit. Let's just put the phone here. There we go. Yeah. Oh, rain. What an exciting stream, right? Alright. That might have been the last of it. Let's see. Yeah. Looking good. Should get a bit of a breeze now. This often happens after it gets some rain. Yeah, nice. Yeah. And Austin Coulston says, do you ever find geodes or gems digging in the rock? No. Well, except for maybe, I don't know if you'd call gypsum a gem, but we find lots of gypsum, layers of gypsum in where we're digging. But that's something that it kind of forms after, like not during the fossilization process. It's something that happens kind of in the modern time, after the stuff has sort of been exposed, and you get little bits, cracks that develop, and then you get gypsum that forms, sometimes in between the bone and the surrounding rock. We'd get that a lot in the Hell Creek in certain places. The Yoshi's Trike site, I remember we had a ton of gypsum there, and Cliffhanger Trike too. Yeah. And can rain erode the fossils? Absolutely, Lord Jeebus, yeah. Paleostream, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. I hope the camera isn't too smudged right now. We just went through a little bit of a rain shower, but it seems to be passing overhead. Yeah. Lucky we're not over there. They're getting a lot of rain. We just caught the very outskirts of it. But welcome, Paleostream, to the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation of Wyoming, USA. We're digging up a Ceratopsian dinosaur today, and yesterday we found a horn. And I'll be showing that to you in a little bit once we can get the tarps off of the site. We're protecting it from the rain here. And here comes a little bit more rain. It's kind of blowing in. You could see some of it dropping over there. That's rain. Being blown by the wind away from its source cloud. Yeah. Heard you have some interesting stuff coming out of the ground. Oh yeah, we got what's almost certainly a new species of hadrosaur. Probably a saurolophine, maybe. And then we've got a new ceratopsian. Looks like a chasmosaurine. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah. Yeah, in just a few minutes I can show you when we take that tarp off. Let me get the phone back on my wrist so I can take a look at chat. My normal setup here. Hang on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Good stuff. And you found the horn? Yeah. I'd uncovered part of it yesterday. Didn't dare think that it was a horn. Didn't dare think that we could be that lucky. And it turns out that's probably what it is. Our expedition lead took a look at it yesterday afternoon. He's like, boys, this is a horn right here. The funny thing is it didn't have horn texture on it. Again, I'll show you in a little bit. But no horn texture on this thing. Normally horns have got a certain kind of vascularity to them. They've got sort of a veininess on ceratopsid dinosaurs. This does not have that, but it's concreted with a layer of like iron-rich mudstone that kind of obscures the surface. But the shape is exactly right for a horn, even if the texture isn't. So that's what we think it is. We won't know for 100% certain until we actually expose the whole aerial extent of it, but we can't do that until we remove some more of the overburden. And so it's a whole procedure. You'll see in a little bit. How smudged is the lens right now? Does it look clear or does it look smudged? Because it looks smudged from my perspective. Might have to clean that. And CDN Crimson Kitty says, how do paleontologists determine species boundaries? Oh boy, that's a whole can of worms. Yeah, it's very contentious. I'll put it that way. Possibly even more contentious than it is with modern organisms, because we can't do things like look at DNA. We have got to go strictly based on morphology and stratigraphy and stuff like that too. And woke up in a paleontology stream. Oh, Potate King, welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. And somewhat smudged. Okay. Rob Goblin, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate that. And Admiral Redbeard says, what kind of ceratopsian do you think it is? We're pretty sure it's a chasmosaurine, and we're pretty sure it's going to be a new species or a new genus. That's what we would absolutely expect to find, given that this is a geological formation that has been very poorly sampled, and there are no ceratopsians that are known from this formation, this particular age of rocks in this part of the world. So, try not to litter here. You grab that piece of trash. Leave no trace, you know? There we go. It doesn't look like it. No, I think we're good. That looks like it's going to pass that direction. I don't think it's going to hit us. Unless you can see something I can't over the hill. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to Quinn there. Let's get you cleaned off here, chat. Conditions are, a little rugged out here in the field. It helps to have a glasses wipe. How's that? Better? Yeah. Let me get my phone as well, because it's all smudged from the rainwater. There we go. Excellent. Good stuff. Yeah. All right. And there you go, Lord. Rel Jenkins says Paleontology Simulator IRL. Yeah, in real life. This is not a simulation. This is live from the wilds of Wyoming via satellite. Solar-powered satellite. And look, the rain even cleared off the panels a little bit. We got rid of some of that dust. Excellent. Now we just have to wait for wind to pick up. And more dust will go and cling to that water on there. Circle of life. And how's the temperature? Asked Clockwork Griffin. Not too shabby. Yeah, it's not terrible. I'd say it's probably in the high 80s today, something like that. It's humid all of a sudden now that we had that rain. But, yeah, I don't know. It hasn't been too hot. We're all a little bit tired. We had a long day yesterday and some late night of celebrating. Some champagne last night. And we got that horn. I'll show you in a minute. Let me go get some water first. And stripping the batteries feels a little like looking at your own heart surgery. There you go, Lauren. Yeah. And PSX29 says you must be in good shape to be a paleontologist. There are a lot of paleontologists who are not in good shape. Yeah, doing field work, it helps to be in shape for that. We do a lot of manual labor, a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, a lot of lifting things. Digging itself can require a lot of what we call quarry yoga. So contorting ourselves, our bodies into unusual shapes in order to be able to all fit into a quarry and dig at the same time. Yeah. But not all paleontologists do field work. Some paleontologists are strictly laboratory-based or collections-based. But, you know me, field work is it's what I was born to do. So that's why I've been digging dinosaurs and other fossil critters almost every year since 2011. The only year I've missed has been 2020 because of COVID. Every year since then, I've been out in the field, digging up fossils, collecting specimens for various museums, all, you know, for the advancement of science. That's the whole point. That's why I'm out here. That's why we're all out here. I hope wasps stay away today, Dan the BC man? Let's hope so. Thank you for the kind words. I hope they do. And H3D Viz, Edviz says, very sunny day looks like. We just got some rain a minute ago. Here, let me show you evidence of that. The weather out here, out east in Wyoming, because I'm from California, you know, when I'm back east in Wyoming, the weather can be very unpredictable. Here's our satellite dish bag. You can see the raindrops on it. There is a rain cloud. They're very localized here. You just have, you know, big or small rain clouds that kind of wander across the sky, just dropping big payloads of moisture. And they either hit you or they don't. It's literally very hit or miss. And we just got a glancing blow from that one. But behind us, oh man, they're really getting dumped on over there. I say they, there's probably nobody over there. It's a pretty remote area, but yeah. Anyway, let me drink some water, then I'll show you the horn up there and show you our quarry. Family back east. There you go, Real Jenkins, yeah. Yeah, to me, Wyoming is back east, because I'm from California. People don't like it when you say that. You know, when I'm out east, people like to refer to this as the West. Oh, I'm out in the West. The romance of the West. This is back east for me. Good stuff. I'd highly recommend this. Water, it's good stuff. Give it a try sometime. Anyway, California, the most west. Actually, Alaska and Hawaii have got us beat. And American Samoa, Guam, etc. Well, actually, is that east again? Hawaii's not. Let's go take a look up at the quarry. And Jazzy Jane says, is there a porta potty nearby? No, we literally have a bucket in camp with a little seat on it and a trash bag inside. And that's where we go when nature calls. Porta potty would be luxury in a place like this. We don't have that kind of dough. All right, so again today we've got Nick and we got Quinn.
Howdy, y'all.
We're returning champs at the Ceratopsian site.
That's right.
And this is a jacket that we flipped this morning. You saw the same one yesterday. That's the same jacket that we built yesterday on stream, at the beginning of the stream. So this is a field jacket. This is a protective plaster and burlap cocoon that we as paleontologists put around fossil specimens in order to get them safely back to the laboratory. And yeah, so right now Quinn is cutting away the lip on that so we can make it a little bit smaller. And then Nick's doing the same thing. And earlier we were just cutting away at this, just carving it down, trying to get rid of excess rock to make this as lightweight as possible, because we're gonna have to carry it by hand all the way back to the vehicles. That's gonna be fun. Somebody was asking earlier, do you have to be in shape to be a paleontologist? And it certainly helps. Yeah, there's a lot of manual labor involved when you're doing field work like this. Yeah.
Found bone right here too, as we were trying to level down right here as well.
Nice.
Well, Danny found this. Not exactly sure what it is, but that's kind of for the lab to figure out.
That's for us to wonder about and for them to decipher in the laboratory under controlled conditions where they're not getting sudden rainstorms out of nowhere. Yeah. Or buzzing wasps everywhere. Looks like we don't have too many right now, which is good. Those scoops full of water are doing their job. But yeah, nice work, fellas. Yeah. So that's the jacket, and we'll probably get a bottom jacket on this today, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, honestly, we lifted it. It's not that heavy.
Oh, great. Okay.
I was just thinking we could just do it now before we're breaking anything more.
Yeah, excellent. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, let me know when you want another set of hands. We'll put a bottom on this thing. Yeah, cool.
Right, sounds good.
And then the moment everybody's been waiting for here. Let's take a look at that horn. Yeah. Exciting. Take a look at that. So this looks for all the world like a ceratopsid brow horn right here. It's all shiny because we soaked that thing with glue last night before we left. But yeah, that's the horn right here. Look how round it is in cross section. And it's plunging in that direction underneath the big quarry wall. So at some point we're gonna have to put a cap over this. So just a kind of protective plaster, top to it.
Yeah.
And then we'll do some overburden. We'll take more of this down, and then we can dig in the proper way. Rather than like tunneling in, which is never what you want to do, we're gonna take this whole thing down, and then we can work from the top down the proper way to dig up a dinosaur.
So it looks like there's possibly a set of horns. Unless, this was the tip. So this is a tip of another horn right here.
Mm-hmm.
See that? And they're right next to each other, just like, Ceratopsian wood in situ, so.
Yeah, exciting stuff. They could even be articulated.
Yeah.
This is like when I was working at the Cliffhanger Trike in the Hell Creek. We had those two horns just in articulation.
Yeah.
Could be the same thing. So we'll dig under this rock eventually. Or actually what we'll probably do is just jacket them.
Yeah. Maybe even the same jacket, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of overlapping each other.
But with any luck, this will continue, and we'll just have the tip of the horn over there.
I've just wanted to get a top jacket on this thing. So
me too.
Get to it.
But luckily, it's very well glued. I'm glad we did that last night.
Yeah.
But yeah. Exciting. New kind of Ceratopsian dinosaur. New horned dinosaur, we think. And we got the horns. So, or at least one horn. We got the horn for the Ceratopsian.
Got the horn.
Yeah, got the horn for the Ceratopsian. Good stuff. And serious overburden. Yeah, it will be fall machine. Absolutely. And that is, well worth champagne, says Colin. Colin says hi, guys.
Almost a handle.
Yeah.
What's up, Colin?
Yeah. Oh, and to everybody who contributed to Quinn's hat fund last night. Look.
I have a hat.
Yeah, he's making do.
Same
Baseball
thing.
cap and a 360 visor combined. That's some serious sun protection here.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You guys are true heroes.
Really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. So,
I
yeah.
can't believe you guys did that. It's a joke.
It was mostly a joke, but you know what? We've got a very generous chat here, and yeah.
Oh man,
good stuff.
very good stuff.
And someone said, "Do you think we've got a skull in there?" We've got skull bones in here. The horns are also skull bones, and most of the bones that we have from the site so far are skull bones. A lot of people seem to think that, I don't know, like a skull is a single bone.
Yeah, right.
You know, kind of like, you know, in mammals, a lot of the skull bones fuse together. In dinosaurs, you've got big openings and stuff like that, and fenestrae. They tend to fall apart. We're getting some more clouds. Doesn't look like that's going to hit us. There's definitely rain in there, but it doesn't look like it's headed this way. Looks like it's going to go north of us.
Thank God.
Yeah. But we'll see. Whatever's going on over there is producing a bunch of little... There's a storm system over there just pumping out rain clouds. There's this one right here that's just barely missed us, which is lucky. Yeah.
All we want to do is keep working.
Yeah.
Breaks.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got limited time out here. We want to get this done, but sometimes the weather does not cooperate.
No.
Yeah. Anywho.
I'll cut this down a little bit more.
Yeah, let me know, you guys, when if and when you want an extra set of hands for jacketing that thing.
All right.
How's the knife working out for you?
It's better than mine.
Okay, good.
Definitely need a saw up here.
Yeah, yeah, we should have that on our shopping list for next time somebody goes to town. Maybe text Ethan about it.
He's calling me right now.
Oh, cool.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Admiral Redbeard says, I'm loving every minute of this. Well, good. Good. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Paleontologizing. How many people do we have right now? I gotta move the strap out of the way so I can see the thing. 445, not too shabby. Yeah, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. A paleontologist is a scientist who studies fossils. That's what I do. I work on dinosaur fossils in particular, which puts me in the minority of paleontologists for certain. Dinosaurs are just the tip of the iceberg. Paleontology is the study of fossils in general, the preserved remains of ancient living things going back about 4 billion years. Dinosaurs are just a small part of that, but they're what I work on, and they're what we're digging up here in the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation here in Wyoming. So, yeah, I'm glad you could tune in. Let me know if you've got any questions. That's what these streams are all about. And Cody Shibley, how are you doing? Welcome back. Cody Shibi, sorry. What does Ethan say?
He was driving by with like 6 guys, so he was asking if we wanted help with bringing it down. But
Yeah, we'll probably get that ourselves.
yeah, that's nice.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Wait, 6 guys. Does that mean Fisher and the crew are here?
I would imagine, maybe so.
Huh.
I would.
Cool. Yeah. Neat. We're expecting some more crew members this afternoon or this evening. Maybe they're already here in the area. Maybe Ethan already got them. But Fisher McDarmid from last summer, many of you remember Fisher? He's showing up today, along with Nick Oliver, who occasionally shows up in chat too. No Liver, I think, is his username. So you're going to get to meet him too. And got some dirt on your nose. It's field work, you know? There's dirt got dirt everywhere. I've been out here in the field in Wyoming for the past 13 days now. I think this is day 14. 13 or 14 of our field work out here, and I'll be here until the end of the month. And I'll be really, really, really lucky if I happen to get a shower at any point during that time, but I'm not counting on it. It's probably going to be no showers until the end of June. And that's how it goes out here. It's using a lot of wet wipes every night in my tent before I go to sleep. Crawl into that sleeping bag. And it's actually been keeping me relatively clean. I feel pretty good about how I look and how I smell. So yeah, thank you again, chat, for sending those wet wipes. That's been incredible. How are the remains discovered? Says Meej, considering you're in a barren-looking area, this is the sort of environment that you find dinosaur fossils in. This is like prime dinosaur hunting territory. A lot of exposed rock on the surface. Not a lot of, well, no trees. There's no trees out here. Not sure there's a tree in this whole county. Yeah, just scrubby vegetation, lots of exposed rock, and this is how we find this stuff in the first place. You walk along, you look at the ground for any bits of bone that are eroding out of the surface, you follow those in, try and find the source, hopefully it's a skeleton. That's what this turned out to be. Last summer, University of Bath paleontologist Nick Longrich was joining us for a couple of weeks, and he happened to find this site. We dug up the first couple bones last summer, and now we've come back. We got our full excavation permits, we could dig a great big hole, and we're finding more and more of this critter. A new, what we think is probably a new Ceratopsian dinosaur. And is this bone right here? No, it's bony looking rock, but it is rock right here. But when you're out prospecting, that's what you're doing. You're just looking at every surface like this, looking for anything that might be a hint of bone. It's, oh, Fisher's coming?
Well, they're here right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Nick's truck down there. Heck yes. Fantastic. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. And how exactly is the site discovered? Austin Coulston? Hopefully, I just answered that. We go out prospecting. It takes a trained eye to be able to spot bits of bone and be able to identify maybe what kind of critter they're from, and then trace it back into the hill, see where it's eroding out. I think a lot of folks, for whatever reason, have this idea that maybe we use some sort of magical technology or something to find these, some sort of like, you know, ground-penetrating radar or something. None of that stuff would work out here, because we're digging in rock, not in soil. Like, that's bedrock up there that the site is in. Bedrock that's about 73 million years old. If it were in soil, it wouldn't have lasted nearly that long. It's got to be in the rock to be able to find it. Wind and rain and freeze-thaw, snow, that like slowly wears away the rock, and bits show up on the surface. You have bits of bone that spill out. We're looking for that spillage in order to be able to find a site like this. And we got pretty lucky last summer when Nick Longrich found this. And yeah, now we've come back to dig up more of it, and luckily there's even more in the hill. So we continue to dig in and to find more stuff. Oh, and the truck turned around. Did I actually drop anybody off? Let's go see. And does the fossil resist erosion more than the rock? Asked Ms. Blue Skies. It depends what kind of environment you're in. If you have really, really excellent preservation, you might get really lucky where the bone is really well preserved, really hard, really resilient, and then the matrix, which is the surrounding rock, is softer than the bone. That's not really the case here. They're about equal hardness. Sometimes you get really unlucky, and the bone is way softer than the matrix. The surrounding rock is way, way, way tougher than the bone that the bone that it's encasing. Here it's about 50-50 maybe. So we got our work cut out for us, you know? And let's see. And let's see, Rob Goblin says, thanks for the replies. Excellent, yeah. And is it possible that fossils are buried in more lush areas but are difficult to excavate because of soil on top? Yes, Queen Dark Lady, absolutely. Famously, the east coast of the United States does have dinosaurs from there, but most of those Mesozoic rocks, the rocks from the age of the dinosaurs, in which you'll find dinosaur fossils, most of those rocks are underneath vegetation, or sometimes underneath parking lots, or highways, or houses, or other buildings. The East Coast is not a great place to find dinosaur fossils, unfortunately. It does sometimes happen in like stone quarries or road cuts, things like that, but it's rare. If you want to go out and have a much better shot of finding dinosaur fossils, you go to a place like this in Wyoming, this kind of territory, where you'll, yeah, you've got lots and lots of exposed rock. You can walk for miles and miles and just scan all kinds of rock with your eyes and hopefully find some bone coming out of there. That's what this is all about. And, yeah. PSX29 says, what about fossils in caves? That does sometimes happen, but that's not... If you're going to find fossils in caves, they're usually much more recent fossils. So stuff from, say, the Pleistocene. They might even be subfossils, which are like bones that are they've been kept safe in the cave, but they're not fully fossilized yet. They've still got a lot of the original organic material in there. So when, say in Europe, when caves are being excavated, you find bones of cave bears and, maybe ground sloths and stuff like that were hanging out in those caves. Those bones are usually not fully fossilized. They're just kind of there in the stable conditions of the cave, and so they've not degraded. And those fossils are usually only a few thousand years old. Maybe like 30, 40,000 at the oldest, something like that. The bone doesn't really last very long on the surface. If it's just laid out, anybody who's ever gone out hiking and found the bones of an animal, you could tell they get bleached by the sun, they fall apart, rodents gnaw on them, all kinds of bad stuff happens to bones on the surface. In order to preserve a bone for millions of years, you got to bury it in sediment and fossilize it. That's what happened with our dinosaur here, and we're really grateful to it for that. We should hopefully be able to name this critter once we finally get it out of the ground, get it to the laboratory, get it cleaned and studied and everything else. And Smay says it's like the tipsy driver looking for his keys under the streetlight. Yeah, because the light's better there. And BX Bones says, you're doing field work again? Absolutely, BX Bones. Yeah, you bet. This is what I do during the summers. Glad you're here. I'll be doing this here in Wyoming until the end of June. And then going back home to the Bay Area for about 2 weeks at the beginning of July. Then mid-July, I'm shipping back out to Utah. Going to be digging dinosaurs out there near Moab until mid-August. So lots of field work this summer, about 2 months of it. Digging up some new genera and species of dinosaur. Pretty excited. Pretty exciting. And thank you, Rhacodactylus. Yeah. Rhacodactylus says, hope the digging and jacketing and transporting and camping has been exciting and fun. Yeah, it's been good. We're a little tired today. Because again, last night, we realized we had brow horns at this site. We found the horns of our horned dinosaur. And we're pretty excited. So I had some champagne. Finally popped that last night. And we're going to have to get some more bottles of champagne because we're going to keep having days like this, I think. But man, it was a good night. Didn't get to bed early enough. And now here we are. I had to carry a bunch of supplies up as well. Big 50-pound, like 6-gallon container of water. Actually, 6 gallons might be like 60 pounds. A whole bunch of plaster of Paris and some other supplies, and of course, all the streaming gear. So we were pretty tired by the time we actually got to start digging today, after we got all the supplies up here. Yeah. Yeah. And private eland public. There's no elands around here. We do get other kinds of artiodactyl and other ungulates. We get elk, we get deer, we get pronghorn here. We've seen a bunch of pronghorn. But no elands. They're typically restricted to, like, the African veldt. Those big old antelopes. Eland is pretty neat. But yeah, 50 plus pounds. Yeah, Lenina. And Rick Dangerous says, fantastic stream. Thanks to you and the team for bringing it to life. Thank you to, for the kind words. I appreciate it. And thank you to chat for making all this possible. Supporting the channel with subscriptions and gift subs and bits and donations of gear and of, moolah to make this sort of thing possible. Appreciate you, chat, more than you know. So yeah, I'm glad we could share this with you and experience it together. Ceratopdogs, excuse me, Colin, tearing it up at the site. We are, yeah. How long is the digging session, says Goofball Guinness? Do you mean for a given day? Or how long does it take to excavate a given site? Or how long are we here in the field? Our day-to-day, we usually go from about 9 to 5. Out here in the sun, digging bones all day. And doing all the other things that excavations require. Mapping and overburden, data collection, and jacketing. Hauling jackets back down to the vehicles, all that stuff. It's a lot of work. Yeah. So it's 9 to 5 might not seem like a very long day, but it can feel very long out here. It can also just race by when you're finding new bones and, you know, you're having good conversations with your colleagues and your crewmates. Yeah. Every different site is different for the amount of time that it takes to dig up and to finish out. Yeah, last summer we could only dig a 1 meter by 1 meter square hole in order to get the bones out that we had. So we had to apply for an excavation permit, come back this year, and then get that whole thing out of there. So we're going to be knocking down a bunch more of this hill because we've got more bones going into the back wall there, and that might take the better part of June. We're going to be out here until the end of June. That's our like drop everything, we're done date is June 30th. So yeah, let me drink some more water. I'm getting thirsty. Yeah. Anywho, and that's all, says Frank. Wait, what do you mean that's all? How can a regular paleontologist survive? What do you mean, Frank? Can you rephrase your question? I'm not sure I understand. Love me some water. Will you get the horn out this year? Yes, Cactus Jack, we definitely will. For certain. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. I'm not sure they're coming up either. Nick took off in his truck. I didn't see anybody walking up here. But maybe they're behind the hillside or something. Could be, yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Alright, so Chad, I'm going to help out with putting a bottom jacket on our field jacket here. We're going to scramble up this scree slope.
Yeah, then we like kind of want to wrap it too. So
oh, nice. Got the separator on there? Beautiful. I'm breaking stuff.
Forgot to cut burlap, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Ready.
I'll just hang out here for a few minutes. I've got limited dexterity while I've got this thing on. I gotta be holding the camera. So, apologies for the clumsiness. And let's see. Thank you, Jacko Roses, for the bits. Appreciate that. And Aquacat, fantastic. We've got a hype train going here. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate that. You are once again going to be witnessing one of the sacred rituals of the field paleontologist. We who dig vertebrate fossils create what we call field jackets when we're digging up large specimens. And you'll be seeing that. This is a method that was originally devised back in like the 1870s or 1880s. I want to say it was the 1870s. By the field crews of Othniel Charles Marsh. It may have actually been here in Wyoming that this method was first devised. But this is how we safely get fossils out of the ground and to the laboratory, as we put them in these protective plaster and burlap cocoons that we call field jackets. Now, you jacket the specimen in the field, hence field jacket. And Lawaku T-Talk says, awesome, haven't seen the jackets done yet this year. You will, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of these this summer if you stick around. Not just here in Wyoming, but in July and August when I'm in Utah, you'll see some more jackets being made. This is it's one of my favorite parts of fieldwork. I enjoy making a quality jacket. It's always a nice feeling of accomplishment once that's done. And hearing, don't forget hearing. There you go, Gokanek. Yeah. And BX Bones, we are on public land here. Bureau of Land Management land. Yeah, federal land. So we've got all our permits in place and everything, and the BLM has been wonderful to us. We really appreciate their support and their permission to be able to dig on this land and help advance the science of paleontology. Need to jack at the top of Quinn's hat. Yeah, there you go, Adno. Yeah. Nightfall the Red says, do you know what you'll be digging up in Utah? Yeah, we've got a new species or even new genus of iguanodont dinosaur. Kind of like iguanodon, but earlier in time. The very beginning of the Cretaceous period. Maybe close to 140 million years old. The very bottom of the Cedar Mountain Formation. Just above the contact with the Morrison. It's where I was digging the past 2 summers. And we had an iguanodont expert who came in, took a look at the fossils and said, this is something new. Keep digging. Get more of it. Publish it. So we're pretty excited about that. And all range cattle and paleontologists on BLM. Yeah. There you go, Gojira. Yep. And BX Bones, so a paleontologist from the University of Bath, Nick Longrich, found this last year. We dug up the first few bones last summer before we had our excavation permit. Now we've got our excavation permit, we can dig a much bigger hole. We're finding many more bones. Good stuff. Let's see. And thank you, Hoolery Schmoolery, for that gift sub to Cody. Appreciate that. Yeah. And the Morth says, it may sound silly, but how do you know where to search for fossils? Somebody use the prospecting command. Because I got to set this camera down and get ready to help out here. Let me put it over here again, like last time.
Ontogeny.
There we go. That should do it. Set this over here. And where are we at battery-wise? Let me check, make sure we're not going to die. %. Let's plug it in. Hopefully that doesn't kill our other battery. It's always a delicate dance balancing these different batteries.
Don't you want to do the Danny method where you pour the plastic first?
We already got water in here.
What?
We already got water in here.
No, the water goes first. Yeah.
Oh, water goes first?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then usually I like to soak the burlap, but it's, that's dealer's choice there.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do that then.
Make sure that's charging. Excellent. Good. Chat.
Should plan out what we're putting this. I guess you can let it first.
Oh. Got a question. If I'm getting paid by Twitch... Oh, and this bucket's here for a reason because we've got bone under it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Move this a little bit closer then. How do these other guys get their income? Well, they're taking time off of work to be here.
Love it.
Yeah, this is a passion project. We do this because we love it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm lucky that I can stream during it, because otherwise I'd be having to take a big pay cut too.
Let's do this one here.
Nice.
Okay, that works.
How much paper towel do we have too?
Not a lot.
Okay.
But I think they're out of camp.
Shoot.
So we had to use some
Yeah.
toilet paper.
And we had a lot of extra. Sometimes it's nice to ball it up or like roll it up and then put it along here on the inside of the lip.
Yeah, we did that for the bigger lips, but
Nice. Yeah.
you know what?
It's not always possible.
Let's do that. Just don't want any
Yeah.
tragedies on the way down.
Yeah. And Con Wolf says, do donations go towards funding gear and digs? If you send money to the Ko-Fi link, I can use that to pay for some more supplies. Yeah, get drinks for camp or something. Yeah.
We gotta support Danny and his endeavors.
Well, you guys too. Shoot.
Hey, man.
You make decent money, right?
I'm on PTO.
Nice. All right. Paid time off. That's gotta be nice. I also get PTO, but it's paid time on.
This doesn't even feel like work, honestly. It just feels like a lifestyle.
It really kind of fits.
It's hard work, but
Yeah.
it's just the best.
Living hand to mouth out here in the field, but it's like, it's a joy to do it.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. That's probably not super necessary. Wouldn't worry about it too much.
Okay. That's our
Yeah.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's if we need to go find a hole somewhere. Make a future copper light.
There you go.
Okay. This is good. Here.
It's nice the wasps have relented for now.
I know.
They all died.
R.I.P. those wasps. Well, they died doing what they loved.
Drowning.
Drowning in a pool of water. They've probably gone their entire lives without seeing a pool of water. This is such a dry environment out here. Like, they just don't know what to do. They're just so happy that they just... Yeah.
Want to go swimming forever.
Big hotel pool in the sky.
Do you usually go swimming in a hotel pool?
I try to if it's got... Yeah, I always feel like I'm not getting my money's worth
Yeah.
at a hotel if it has a pool, unless I go get into the pool and the hot tub. Sometimes at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of like stick my torso in the pool, and I'll have my legs in the hot tub. And then people walk in, they think I've drowned. Just kidding, I do not do that.
Just a little half and half.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna pour a little bit more water in. Can you let me know when it's good enough?
This should be good.
Oh, and Colin says these are definitely the hardest work days he's ever had, but loved everything about it, except the camp bucket. Yeah, our bathroom facilities are a little, shall I say,
Primitive.
yeah, underdeveloped.
Like the Romans.
Yeah, simple, we'll say. It's a nice way to put it.
Sponge, but we like
Do you think these overlapping ones are even necessary?
Eyebrow Dunce wants to know, have the field techniques evolved a lot over time, or is this process similar to the way it's always been? I was just saying that, yeah. So this method of jacketing fossils like this is pretty much unchanged since the 1880s, when it was first developed.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Exactly. Alright, so we got those laid out.
Yep.
Beautiful.
it.
Actually, I'm not
First
totally
one.
sure you guys are going to need another set of hands.
Yeah, I think we'd probably be okay.
You got it? Yeah.
If you want to
Cool.
reach
Yeah, I
in.
can just kind of document.
Alright, cool.
Because it's not like we're going to need, we don't have a lot of undercuts. You don't need extra sets of hands just to keep everything up underneath. It's not like some of those big Ceratopsian jackets I've had to work on in the past where like you've got 6 different people all on their backs.
Yeah.
Like holding the plaster up onto the underside of the jacket as it cures.
You wanna let me know when that's
We had a name for that. I won't repeat it on stream because it's a little uncouth. But I'll tell you guys later. Alright, chat, let me pick you up. Put this rig back on.
a little more?
There we go. Oof.
So I don't know where it's
Excellent. Okay, much better. Go like that. Okay, lovely.
double check water ratio.
That's kind of a lot of water. But, well, no, hang on. You've got how many strips?
5.
5? Yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good. We can always add more water later, too. I've got extra hands.
Let's go.
Yeah. And if anybody gets an itchy nose while their hands are covered in plaster,
You might have to grab my hat.
yeah, let me know and I can use an ice pick. Just kind of gently poke. Hopefully not get you in the eye.
Alright. A little
Yeah.
lobotomy action.
And we're getting a raid here. Well. Who is this? From OK Go Myrtle. Welcome back, Raiders. Hello. Welcome to Paleontologizing. We're putting a bottom cap on this jacket here. So Quinn's got a scoop, got some plaster of Paris.
Work.
And so, so leave it for now. Just kind of let it pile up there. And then once we think you got enough, then start mixing it. This is how I was always taught how to do it. Okay, go ahead and start mixing. Thanks for waiting.
I got a little excited.
Yeah. Here, I can help tip it up too so we get more of the water down there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Time for the squelching. There you go, Ricodactylus. Listen to that. Fieldwork ASMR.
A little more.
Yeah, nice. That's so cool. This is Nick's first real plaster and burlap jacket, and it's on a new kind of Ceratopsian dinosaur. That's pretty darn exciting.
Lucky man.
Yeah.
Know what to do,
Nice.
right?
Yep.
Start rolling.
So Nick's working to get that plaster into every fiber of that burlap. Nice. We can always mix up more plaster if we need it too. That's a big old strip.
Oh.
Wow. Nice. Yeah, looking good. Put the more plastery side down, and then we can always add more plaster over the top of it. Nice.
You need to keep mixing.
Keep making it more? Alrighty.
Little known fact, plaster is vanilla flavored. Good jury, you might think that. I'd have to argue though, it's not actually vanilla flavored. I would say, if I were to describe the flavor of this plaster, I would say it's plain. Those are big strips. They're just taking up most of the plaster. We can mix some more up. We're getting some nice coverage there. Nicely done.
Ontogeny.
Yeah. The forbidden marshmallow fluff. There you go. Shoot. You need another set of hands?
No, it's just kind of got mixed with the rock a little bit.
Oh yeah, that happens. You can always cut those parts off if you need to.
Okay, the next one. We did these bullets for sure.
Johnny Shue says, I dig the stream. Do your grad students know they aren't being paid for this? I don't have grad students. No, we're an eclectic group of dinosaur hunters out here. We've got students, we've got various professional paleontologists, we've got employees from different museums, and yeah, people from all different walks of life. One of our crew members is a tattoo artist.
Some fresh ink out here. My first tattoo.
Yeah, Quinn's first tattoo.
And now I'm already planning 8 more. It's always the one that, you know, you're like always scared to do it at first.
Oh yeah. When the floodgates open.
Yeah. Alright, next one.
This one had a little...
A little sparse.
Yeah.
We can mix up some more. Here.
Yeah, let's do
I'll get
that.
the water, and maybe I can scoop the plaster too.
Yeah, if you do that, let's just keep mixing it.
Okay.
Twice in a row. Too much plaster and then
Yeah.
not enough.
So this plaster will set up faster because it's already got stuff that's setting up in there. That'll be enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's a chemical reaction,
More.
and some of it's already kicking. That's going to accelerate the new stuff that we put in there. Trying to do this one-handed while I hold the camera, but we'll make it work. Put that scoop in there. All right, ready?
Yep. Deep boys back.
Have you got another strip to go?
Yeah. These
Okay,
two
cool.
Right here.
Beautiful.
So it's probably not going to be too much.
We probably need some more water, huh?
Maybe a little more.
Yeah. Let's do that. It's okay to put a little bit of water, extra water in at the beginning, but once it starts to kick, you'll like kind of mess up the the development of the plaster.
Gotta work on your aim.
Yeah. Multitasking here. All right. Should have like a chest strap for the camera for times like this. Probably another couple scoops like that.
Probably won't use it all, but yeah, we definitely do need for it like an extra goop layer.
Oh yeah. All right.
That should be pretty good.
Great. That's just what I was thinking.
Damn. It keeps poking me.
Yeah, that's probably the shards.
Yeah.
Try to get them all out.
Yeah. And Eric Ketchum says this is kind of cool. I hope it's more than kind of cool. We're digging up a brand new horned dinosaur out here,
Oh no, the brush.
and you get to watch that live.
Right.
Another lap.
Yes. Go.
Give us the goo.
Give us the goo. The goo boys.
We require the goo. How often do we have experts from abroad joining us? This year, I don't think we have anybody coming from overseas, but last year we... yeah, I guess from... Well, no, he's from Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Nick Longridge came out from England last summer to join us. He was actually here for a conference down in Salt Lake City. Heard about our fieldwork and wanted to join us, so he canceled his return flight. And, yeah.
Get that last one on, then come with me.
Beautiful. There's a lot more goop in there too, so we were sitting pretty. Nicely done, fellas. Yeah. Eric Hutchinson says, "Are you guys private?" No, this is for a public museum. We're collecting fossils for the Cincinnati Museum Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. So these fossils are here on public land, and if you dig dinosaur fossils on public land, they need to go to a public museum, which is exactly what we're doing here. Nice.
Nice and stuck to the bottom. Oh yeah.
So our fossils, it's true, Dr. Javasaurus, yeah, absolutely. No kappa necessary.
They're all here. Nick?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Nice job, Nick.
Yeah.
All right. It's the most bizarre kind of massage therapy I've ever seen.
Kind of needs some moisturizer. A little dry out here.
I could use a massage after this trip.
Schmo says the Reds game was crazy last night. Is that baseball?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, nice. Which did they change the name? Or is it Cleveland?
Cleveland did.
Okay, cool.
They're the Guardians now instead
Right.
of the Indians.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah.
Their logo's
Pretty
actually
far from India there.
Yeah.
Sports ball, yeah. We were listening to a song we very much enjoyed earlier, called "Sports" by the Viagra Boys. Sports.
Sports.
Yeah. Apparently, they had a guy jump the fence, do a backflip, and get tased, like
Damn.
on the field.
That's crazy.
Pretty neat. Oh man. Yeah, we're kind of detached from the news out here. We're way out in the middle of nowhere. We don't have internet connectivity unless we're running the satellite dish down there. That's how I'm broadcasting to you right now.
Just double make sure everything is.
Yeah. You guys are doing great though. This is a good looking jacket.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just ruining
Yeah.
the jacket at this point.
It's really setting up. See, I always said when you've got plaster that's already setting up in there and then you add more plaster and water, it just makes the new stuff set all the faster. Yeah.
Shoot. Crumblies.
Now we're doing great.
Thanks.
Yeah. The bottom jacket is not the most important part. It's just to,
That's true.
kind of keep everything contained, but it's not the main structural part of it. We already have that done. Yeah, Plague Zaddy says, oh yeah, very nice, fellas.
Did you
Very
catch
nice.
that?
Oh yeah, I did. Why are we plastering the fossil? This is how we do it. This is how we get them safely out of the ground. These bones have been here in the rock for 73 million years. As soon as you expose them to the surface, bad stuff can happen. You'll see later on in the summer, if you keep tuning in, like the whole process. You'll know this like the back of your hand.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, when it gets on the hair there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give it a minute. And also, sunscreen can help with that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just gonna
I like to put sunscreen on my hands after doing some jacketing, because the plaster really dries out your skin. All that gypsum, just oof. Yeah. And yeah. Are you able to keep up to date on things happening in the world during downtime? No.
Are we at war?
Hopefully we're not. Yeah. United States at war with Canada. We would have heard about that, I'm sure.
Nose and bomb after.
Yeah.
Damn Canadians and their hockey.
Snowman.
Yeah. I'd love to do this in colder weather. Well, that's the thing, Nolkoi, is that in colder weather it'd be snowing here. There's like a brief window when field work is possible in a place like Wyoming. That's during the summer. If you come out here in May, you're almost guaranteed to get snow. Even the beginning of June can be a little dicey. But we're here for the whole month of June, and so far we haven't really had much inclement weather. We've been pretty lucky. So let's count our lucky stars there, and hope that continues. Very nice, Quinn. Yeah, very nice. Looks good.
Probably the biggest one I've done, like rubbing it in by myself.
Yeah. Nice.
For the most part.
Okay, yeah, I'm just here, I guess.
There's the evidence of your hard work right there on your hands. You
are a crucial part of that. There's no way. That's why.
Yeah.
Good job, Quinn. Good job.
Yeah.
Specific.
And have I worked with Paul Bybee, Utah Valley University? No, I can't say I'm familiar with him singing sabers. I bet you Ethan knows him though. Ethan knows most everybody in Utah, so when Ethan's here on stream, ask me again, and we'll see if Ethan knows him. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Gojira says about the Canadian War, you know we'd have burned down the White House again. Yeah, you just won't let us forget that, huh? They only finished fixing it in, like, 1997, right? Yeah. And we invented latex gloves a couple of decades ago, Dr. Javasaurus. We know that, but it doesn't really work for this kind of thing. I don't know. There's some paleontologists who swear that you should always use gloves while you're jacketing. People like Don DeBlue say that, but it just isn't the same. Like it's actually crucially important that you be able to feel everything so you can get all of those nicks and crannies, get those air pockets out of there and everything. And gloves are sort of an unnecessary pain most of the time. Another thing that you've got to remember, yeah.
And there's nothing better than getting some plaster on your hand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're gonna look
Result of some hard work like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So what are we drawing on this thing?
Well, you're a piece of bone here.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a piece of bone.
Yeah, that's the crucial stuff. So get that done first, and then we can do some jacket art later if we want to. And if we're waiting late at the site for evac tonight, we can
And then
break out the Sharpies and do some jacket art.
I don't think the top side got that much covered.
We gotta redo that one.
Yeah.
And Crimson Carnotaurus says, is that stuff easy to wash off, the plaster? Yeah, it comes right off.
Baby wipes.
Yeah. Or sunscreen, I feel also helps with that. The oils in your skin kind of naturally get rid of it anyway. Like, I've gone back to camp many times during field work, just hands coated with plaster, and it just kind of comes off on its own, turns to dust. Hands are very, like, supple things. Got lots of points of articulation, skin's very flexible. That kind of causes the plaster to crack and fall off. Turn to dust. Yeah, anywho. Holy cow, we've got 1,370 viewers. I don't know how that happened. But welcome, everybody, to Paleontologizing. Welcome to Wyoming. And we got Quinn and Nick here. And me, and we're working on this Ceratopsian jacket. How heavy is this thing so far? Maybe don't heft it yet, because it's still setting, but...
It's a little hefty.
A little hefty?
I think us three together will be able to get...
You think it weighs more than me? I'm about 270. I'm not 270.
Probably later than you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. AKA Vari says, are you big Land Before Time fans? Oh yeah, I've seen all 37 of them. I don't know. I've seen the first one a long time ago and probably the second one when I was a kid. I haven't really seen any of them since then. I don't know. What about you guys? Quinn, you're a huge Land Before Time fan, right?
Yeah, biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Watched it as a kid.
It's cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot of dinosaur stuff out there.
There is a lot of dinosaur stuff out there. That's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the most exciting part about paleontology for us? All the fame and fortune, I would say. Just luxurious living out here in the field. The finest caviar every evening.
Champagne.
Just champagne. We actually did have champagne last night. Champagne, probably.
Because of that bad boy right there.
Yeah, you'll show that off again.
Yeah.
Cracked open the champagne last night. Yeah, Ceratopsian horn right there. We got the horns on this bad boy. We've got at least one. There might be another one under there. I don't totally buy that that's a horn on top, but we'll see. I hope it is. Just try not to get my hopes up too high.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
But we love to dream.
I mean, I was digging this all yesterday morning. I'm like, I'm not sure this is bone, but I'm just gonna keep going. And because the texture is not, surface texture is not bone. It's definitely not horn texture. But it's concreted with this kind of iron-rich mudstone, which is why it's that weird texture there. But yeah, I think Ethan's right. This, I don't know what else it could be. That's almost certainly a brow horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exciting. And guys are glamping. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's why we're filthy and why we haven't showered in a dozen days, at least. I probably won't get the shower until the 30th.
I think that's my favorite part about being out here is like just living like a grease ball.
Yeah. Just being filthy and not being judged for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that with everybody. You know, we're all equals out here. And, yeah. Although, I don't know, some of us get to go back to town and shower and stuff. Ethan gets to do that. And then somehow he gets way filthier than anybody else in the interim. Yeah. Oh, we're judging you. Don't you worry, says Raycodactylus. Thank you. Nick has been doing a wonderful job looking very clean and tidy, though. I don't know how you do it.
Personal hygiene, baby.
Personal hygiene, yeah. I use, a score of wet wipes every evening before I go to sleep in my tent. But even that sometimes isn't enough to... I guess I'm just naturally a dirty guy, Yeah.
You're dirty out here.
Con Wolf says, is most of your fieldwork in remote areas, or can it be in more populated areas as well? Most of my fieldwork is in remote areas. But I'm starting like a major fieldwork project, hopefully in the fall, in the San Francisco Bay Area. There's 8 million people who live there. So I'd say that's a populated area. Yeah.
That's about that?
Potentially, Quinn, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that later, for sure.
Alright.
Yeah, anywho. Good stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, the wasps. You really can't, swat at them. You'll just make them mad.
I know.
I did hit a couple. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. You just have to, pretend you're underwater and you're swatting at them. Just go no. And then they go away. And then they don't bite or sting. Anywho, I'll let you leave you guys to it for a little bit. I'll go march around down there and yap.
I guess.
Yeah. Thanks for all your hard work on the jacket. It's looking good.
Oh,
Let me go get some water.
job's not done.
Nope.
Get down the hill.
Yeah, anywho. Good day so far. And I'm glad you're here, everybody. Let me know if you've got any questions. Questions about dinosaurs, about fieldwork, about the history of life on Earth, or about the very philosophy of science itself. Don't hesitate with those questions. Don't be shy. That's the whole point of these live broadcasts, is to have, real-time interaction like this. Made possible by satellite internet. Pretty lucky to have this. Pretty lucky it's kept working for the time being, too. Be a little spotty sometimes. Yeah. Let's see. And horns is so exciting, I know, right, Murph? Yeah! Oh, man, we are thrilled. We popped the champagne last night. You'll be seeing more of those horns coming out in the coming days. But we are pretty stoked about this. This is our same horned dinosaur we were digging up last summer. We got some bones from the frill. Now it looks like we got some horn. Let me show you in a minute. I'll show you a skeletal diagram. We'll talk about this. Have to refill this pretty soon. Yeah. Oh, hey guys. Sorry to interrupt. We should, if you get a minute, just pack up the water and put it under the tarp so it doesn't heat up and it doesn't spill. I should have done that before I came down. Cool. Thanks, Nick. All right. Let's see. The field of paleontology fired up? What was that? Where are you guys right now? We're out in Wyoming. And liminal spaces, why are pterodons not dinosaurs? Pterodon is actually a genus of mammal. You're probably thinking of pteranodon, which is a pterosaur, a flying reptile. Pteranodon. That's not a dinosaur because it didn't evolve from the ancestor of all the dinosaurs. Let's talk about that briefly, and then we'll go over our Ceratopsian skeletal diagram. But here's some biology 101 here. The very most basic concept in biology is that living things change over time. And we classify them based on what they're actually related to, based on what they share common ancestors with. Since living things change over time and they diversify, you get these cool splits that happen, you get the diversity of life on Earth. So this diagram shows what is a dinosaur and what isn't. Dinosaurs start right here. In order to be a dinosaur, you have to have evolved from this dinosaur ancestor. All dinosaurs share a common ancestor, including birds. Birds evolved from earlier meat-eating dinosaurs, similar to Velociraptor right here, and Troodontids, like that guy, and more distantly related to Tyrannosaurs, to Spinosaurs, to other theropods, and then you go back to the base of the dinosaur family tree. Pterosaurs, this is Pteranodon right here, like we were talking about, that's a pterosaur. So they share a common ancestor with the dinosaurs, but they're not dinosaurs themselves. They evolved from an earlier ancestor. So very, very close to dinosaurs, but they're not quite dinosaurs themselves. They didn't evolve from that earliest dinosaur ancestor. You've got to go back a little bit further in time to get to where them and dinosaurs shared a common ancestor there. Then more distantly, you've got crocodilians, you've got lizards, mosasaurs, you've got various marine reptiles like these ichthyosaurs. Over here, you've got plesiosaurs and turtles and those critters, and then way down here, you've got mammals, even more distantly related to dinosaurs. Does that make sense? This is one of those concepts that is extremely basic. It is the fundamental principle in all of biology. And I'd say in half of biology classes across the United States, like in middle school or high school, it doesn't even get taught. And that's because a lot of people are really scared of the idea that living things change over time. A lot of people are really against the idea of evolution. Mostly because they don't understand it. And you often fear what you don't understand. But yeah, I don't know, creationists and people like that have been very, very successful in keeping these ideas out of the classroom, out of textbooks. And so most people who go through biology classes don't actually have a basic understanding of biology because that most fundamental concept isn't even taught in a lot of schools. So it's an important part of what I'm doing here on Twitch, both out in the field and in the office, is talking about this. And everything in biology starts to make sense. It gets so much less difficult when you start to understand this idea of common ancestry, evolution, change over time, you know? And let's see, scrolling down. What's the second most important science for paleontology? What do you mean, Navoa? Second most important for paleontology? Could you rephrase your question? I'm not sure I understand. Yeah. And what shared ancestor might we have with dinosaurs, asks Emeleth? That would be way back at the base of the amniote family tree. So you'd have to go back about 350 million years to get to the common ancestor of reptiles, including dinosaurs, and mammals, like us. That would be one of the very first amniotes, something kind of like, maybe like Hylonomus or something like that. Somebody pull up the Wikipedia link to amniota or amniotes. The base of amniota, the very first amniote, would be basically the common ancestor between mammals and reptiles. Long time ago. And Salvotrode wants to know, how different were today's internal organs compared to birds? Oh, dinosaurs' internal organs compared to birds today. Did they have the same, or had even more, or missing some in comparison? Any intuitions? Great question. The skeletons of birds today are, in many ways, extremely similar to those of the very bird-like dinosaurs. birds evolved from dinosaurs. They evolved from a group called the Maniraptorans. Raptor dinosaurs, as they're sometimes called. Groups like dromaeosaurs and troodontids seem to be the closest to birds. And that's where birds got most of their cool, unique skeletal features and stuff. But what about the internal organs? A lot of this stuff we can only really guess at because internal organs for dinosaurs are extremely rare. It's extraordinarily rare to find preserved internal organs. It does happen with dinosaurs like Scipionyx from Italy, or Sinosauropteryx from China, both of which might turn out to be juveniles of larger dinosaurs. But anyway, we don't have the clearest understanding of what non-bird dinosaur internal organs looked like. But I can tell you some things that birds have that are definitely different from their dinosaur ancestors. We know that birds today have a single oviduct. So birds today lay one egg at a time. They've got one oviduct. Mesozoic dinosaurs, even some of the most bird-like dinosaurs like troodontids, seem to have had dual oviducts, 2 of them. So a mother troodon, for instance, could lay 2 eggs at a time. 2 eggs every day, I guess. You've got 2 different systems in her body paired that are producing those eggs, and then bloop bloop, 2 of them come out. Birds only lay one egg at a time. That's one example of how even the most bird-like of dinosaurs are different from modern birds. It seems like birds in evolving flight, they're trying to cut down on as much weight as possible, get rid of as many auxiliary systems as they can. So 2 oviducts is one too many. They got rid of one of them, and now they've only got the one. Hope that makes sense. And the stream is just too cool. Also, cool name. Thank you, Mad Charlie Kelly. I appreciate you being earnest with your first chat message. Welcome to Paleontologizing. And let me take this opportunity to introduce myself to anybody new coming in. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So a paleontologist is a fossil scientist who studies fossils. I work on dinosaur fossils in particular, and that's what we're here digging up in Wyoming. We've got hopefully a new species or even a new genus of horned dinosaur, Ceratopsian, that we're digging up here. I'll go back up there in a little bit, and I'll show you the bones that we're excavating. But let me show you a skeletal diagram of what this critter might look like. The Minnie Mouse says, "This is the best stream. I love learning all the things." I'm glad. Yeah, and birds went from double barrel to single barrel. Exactly. That's a great way to put that. Very pithy. And have any dinosaurs been found with eggs in their body yet to be laid? I don't know if we have any gravid dinosaurs yet. I think we don't so far. Dinosaurs with preserved eggs in the body. It would take very specific conditions to make that happen. And I don't think we've got that quite yet. Maybe someday. But this is a skeletal diagram of a ceratopsid dinosaur. A ceratopsid ceratopsian. Pentaceratops. This is pretty similar to the dinosaur that we've got here, we think. But ours is from a slightly different time. And so since these dinosaurs are constantly evolving and changing throughout the Mesozoic, we've got every reason to think that it will be different, and so far the bones that we have are different. But just to give you an example, or try to explain this, the skull is right here, composed of a bunch of different bones, just like your skull is. Dinosaur skulls are often not very well fused together. They would often disarticulate after death, and that's what happened here. So we've got different bones from the skull that are just scattered around this site up there. So far we've got bits of the squamosal, maybe bits of the parietal, or it could be the squamosal parietal kind of contact right there. And it looks like we've got a brow horn. And we've got various other bones that we can't identify yet. There are probably other bones from in the skull here. There's a bunch of them. But yeah, this is a ceratopsid dinosaur, a horned dinosaur. Again, this one here, this diagram is Pentaceratops. Our critter is going to be a close relative, we think, but it looks like it's going to be new. A new species or even a new genus, and that is very exciting. Oh yeah. That's why we popped that champagne last night, is we have brow horns from this site. just kind of identified those yesterday, so we were pretty excited. We're getting some of the most charismatic and exciting pieces of the skull. It's a lot of work, but man, is it worth it. And I'm glad you could be here to witness this. Have you named it yet? No, Singing Sabers, we have not. Yeah. That's gonna come after we get these bones out of the ground, get them back to the laboratory in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh too, get those bones cleaned, and then studied, photographed, written up, eventually published. Right before we actually get this thing published, we'll be devising a name for it, if all goes well. Yeah. There is, I guess, a slight chance that it could be nearly identical to a dinosaur that's already known. You know, Anchiceratops or Arenoceratops or something like that. Or I always said Rhinoceratops. Tomato, potato. But it doesn't look like that so far. It looks like it's something new. And we would expect it to be something new because it's in a different time than both of those critters and a different place. So, every indication that this animal is going to be a new dinosaur. And publish where? In a scientific journal. So, when we say publish in the sciences, that means that we've written up a paper. Usually there's illustrations with it and lots of data associated with it. You're making a case that, we've got some new scientific knowledge here. And then, once you get that manuscript done, you send it to various journals. It's like scientific magazines, kind of, but more technical, and with far fewer advertisements in them. These are like academic journals. You send off the manuscript, and then it gets peer-reviewed. So the editor of that particular journal will look through it. They'll look through your manuscript, and they'll say, hey, this is or is not something that looks kind of interesting. If it is interesting, and they think it might be a good fit for that journal, then they'll send it out for review. So that means that there are other scientists who work on dinosaurs in this case, and they'll be looking at our paper, and they'll be trying to spot any mistakes. They'll be kind of trying to pick apart our logic. They're basically doing like quality control on it in a very detailed kind of way. Usually it comes back for revisions. They'll say you should change this and that. Have you considered doing this? Maybe try doing that analysis. Have you thought about this? And then hopefully you make those revisions, you send it back, they give it the okay, and it gets published. Peer review is what that's called. When you've got peers, other people who are working in your field, other experts, who know a thing or two about the subject you're publishing on, those peers are reviewing it. Peer review. It's a really important part of science. And quality assurance by experts. There you go, Conwolf. Basically, yeah. It's kind of like defending a thesis, yeah. Foley, yeah. And thank you, MLF, for reposting from AKA Vari. Are paleontologists like a bunch of freelancers that come together like part of a company? Or, chat's moving too fast. Or something? Like, how does a group of paleontologists come together for a dig? In this case, we've got a whole bunch of volunteers. We've got kind of our core crew, which is going to be here for most of the summer. I'm here for the entire summer, for instance. I was here on the first day. I'll be here on the last day. And so, I told Ethan at the end of last summer, I'll be out here the whole time. You can count on me. And then we've got various volunteers and other people who kind of cycle through. Other people have got day jobs, so they're coming out here with their paid time off, vacation time, or they're just told their boss, hey, I'm going somewhere for 2 weeks, find somebody to cover for me, and then they just take a big pay cut to be here. And then we've got other paleontologists who will come over from different museums. Maybe they're salaried, and so that's how they can pay the bills while they're out here. The Cincinnati crew, we had 4 guys from the Cincinnati Museum Center, and they came out here to help out and to collect data and that sort of thing. These fossils are going to be going to Cincinnati. That's the official repository. That's going to be the permanent home of the fossils that we dig up here. Is the Museum Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so they came out here because we're kind of partnering with their museum. We're collecting fossils for their museum. They're our official fossil repository, like the permanent home of these fossils. And then there are other paleontologists who have heard about what we're doing out here, and they asked if they could join us. So Matthew Lamanna from the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh is going to be joining us, I think, the day after tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm excited to meet him, and it's going to be cool having him on stream too, if he wants to appear. We're doing exciting work out here, and word is starting to get out, at least within dinosaur paleontology, because these rocks are very understudied, undersampled, kind of unknown. There's no dinosaurs that are named from this particular time in this particular place, so anything that we find stands a very, very good shot at being brand new, and that's what we've been seeing so far. So we're very excited about that, and other paleontologists are very excited about that, and sometimes asked to come out and join us. I hope that answers your question. And Neverwinter says, can't wait. Matt's a great guy. I'm excited to meet him. I met him a long time ago at SVP, but I barely remember, and he certainly doesn't remember me. Yeah. Anywho. And can you show some bones? Yeah, let me take you up there, Frag Zero. Let me drink some water and then go up there. For all the 1,467 people watching. Fantastic. So glad you're here. This is really excited to be doing this kind of outreach, you know? This is thrilling stuff for me. And I'm glad you're excited about it too. Empty. We'll go fill her up there too. Alright, let's go see some bones, shall we? So this is our quarry, discovered, the first bones here were discovered last summer by University of Bath paleontologist Nicholas Longridge. He came out to join our crew for a week or so last year, and he managed to find a Ceratopsian, which is pretty neat. It's one of the critters we were looking for. Now we've got it. We dug up a few bones last year, everything that we could under our permit then. We've got a proper excavation permit this year, so we could dig a great big hole. That's precisely what we've done. And we'll be embiggening this hole even more. There, that big white blob, is a field jacket containing some of the skull bones. So that's a protective plaster and burlap cocoon that we've put around them in order to get them safely back to the laboratory in Cincinnati and in Pittsburgh. These ones are actually probably going to Pittsburgh. Nick over there has been working on this particular dinosaur in Pittsburgh for how long?
Since March.
Since March. Nice. And now he's out here in the field and digging up more bones of it, so we're lucky to have him. And then Quinn is brushing some dust away from a brow horn. At least that's what we think it is. Can't really imagine what else it would be. It doesn't look like a humerus or a femur. So yeah, one of the big horns over the eyes. If you picture like Triceratops with the 3 horns, there's 2 horns at the top of the head, you know, one over each eye. Those are the brow horns. And we think that's what this is right here. Kind of going in that direction. The pointy end should be that way. Which means we're going to have to move a lot more rock from here. It's going to be a lot of work to get that done, but exciting stuff. And as long as you're well rested and have enough water, overburden can be a lot of fun, in my opinion. Yeah, although it doesn't sound super fun right now. We're all pretty tired. It's been a long day so far. It was a late night. Late night is celebrating because I just realized we had a brow horn at the end of the day yesterday. Yeah. So exciting stuff. That's one of the most charismatic parts of the animal and one of the more scientifically informative parts of the animal too. So to have this as a specimen is super exciting. Yeah, we didn't think we'd get any horns. Like, we hadn't found any evidence of any, really. We weren't sure we had any, and now it's starting to look like we do.
So stoked.
So, the horns of our horned dinosaur. Very appropriate. Alright, let me go fill up my water bottle at the big water jug. Yeah. And yeah, let's see. Do you have vitamin D overdose being in the sun all day? I'm pretty sure vitamin D is like a water-soluble vitamin, kind of like vitamin C. So it's really hard to overdose on that. Vitamin K, which is also known as potassium, I'm pretty sure is a fat-soluble vitamin, so that's much easier to get too much of. Vitamin D, I think, you don't really have to worry about that too much. But we make sure we wear our sunscreen out here. We're careful about drinking enough water, which I'm about to do here. Let's just put that there. Trying to do this one-handed. Move that back a little bit. And fill her up. Yeah, nice. Not too shabby. See? Professional streamer. Hold the camera and stream. Fill up my water bottle at the same time. It takes some practice. And Nazumi, very funny. Have you found any skeletons of giant humans yet? No. I'm not sure where Andre the Giant is buried, but he's about the biggest you could find. He's also a perfect example of what happens when a human being gets too big. Our skeletons are just not built. Our bodies are not built for being that large. You know, it's kind of like a purebred Great Dane, where they don't live for very long and all kinds of health problems arise later in life. Never were any human giants. Because the very concept is like, it's impossible. Things start to break down when people get too big. We don't have the different adaptations like elephants do, for instance, to survive being very, very large. In order for a human being to be the same weight as an elephant, our legs would be, leg bones would be too thick, and they'd be rubbing up against one another. The whole thing would just break down. It wouldn't work, you know. It'd be an engineering nightmare. Yeah. And it's usually the heart that gets overtaxed in giant humans, says Fangolivs. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm just thinking of skeletons, you know, as a paleontologist. But yeah. Your heart, your circulatory system. Stuff just breaks down when you get too big. And yeah, Robert Wadlow, biggest human ever, 8 feet 11 inches. And he did not live to a ripe old age. Didn't he die at age 30 or something? His body just broke down. Ugh, poor guy. And will Barnum Brown get credit for bones found on this dig? Not for these ones, because he didn't find these. But in the other hadrosaur, when that gets published... Well, Ethan's already given talks about this and credited Barnum Brown, we think, for finding that originally and then not digging it up. Yeah, we were pretty sure that Barnum Brown had been digging that other duck-billed dinosaur because he's like one of the only paleontologists who's ever worked in the Almond Formation back in 1937. And he we think that he was working there and left an old bucket at the site, because we've got a rusty bucket that certainly looks like it's from the 30s. Very clearly someone was digging at that duck-billed dinosaur. There are a bunch of bits of loose bone that were piled up at the surface. Very clearly a lot of the dirt had been shoveled through and then put back. It was all very loose. Here's Barnum Brown right here at a dig site in Montana, I think. He's holding a big old rib jacket there, rib half jacket. But this is the man that discovered Tyrannosaurus rex. Pretty famous dinosaur paleontologist. And I'd say vertebrate paleontologist, actually. He didn't just do dinosaurs, obviously. Found a lot of Cenozoic mammals, too. Probably some Paleozoic critters, also. But yeah, Barnum Brown. People used to call him Mr. Bones because he's famous for finding fossils. He worked for the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, and yeah, he was out here in 1937. He found some dinosaurs, never published on any of them. Some of them have actually been lost since then. They didn't get a lot of attention because, he bounced around to a lot of different spots. He was always looking for new stuff for the American Museum. And, yeah, so as a result, none of the dinosaurs from this particular geological formation have ever been named. So, anytime we find a dinosaur here, it stands a very, very good shot of being totally new. And would you jacket that rib so tightly today? No, Axeman. No, we definitely include more surrounding material. Or maybe, I don't know, I've been at a site with a whole bunch of crisscrossing ribs. The Yoshi's Trike site in Garfield County, Montana. And we just had all of these ribs that were all crossed over each other like pickup sticks. And we ended up documenting all of them in the ground. And then using that documentation, like very carefully breaking them apart and collecting them piece by piece so they could be reassembled in the laboratory. Because otherwise the jacket would have been impossibly huge. We would have had to jacket the whole animal together because these ribs were just going everywhere. So we did the best that we could with what we had at the time, and it all worked out for the best. And One Bad Alien says, is it easier to publish today with technology? No. I don't... It's probably about the same. I don't know. It's maybe a little bit easier to publish because you have online journals and stuff like that. But also, it's in a lot of ways more difficult to make a living as a paleontologist. At least there are many more paleontologists who are trained in paleontology than there are jobs for paleontologists who are trained in paleontology. Every job in paleontology has over 100 applicants usually. There are not enough jobs. It's rough. And some of us have been able to forge our own paths and kind of make our own career in a slightly unconventional way. That's what I've been able to do so far. I stream on Twitch full time. This is how I make my living. That's how I fund my research and my field work, and that's how I pay the bills. That's how I'm able to work as a paleontologist. I don't have to apply for grants. I don't have to, have a job at a university or a museum or a paleo monitoring firm or anything like that. I'm here on Twitch 5 days a week. Well, 5 days a week when I'm back home. During the field season, I try and stream 7 days a week, and that's what I've done so far here. Yeah. Welcome to the field. It's good to have you. And 15% humidity sounds so lovely. It's not bad, Lenina. It's not bad. It's a dry heat. Oh, but it means I gotta make sure I take care of drinking enough water and putting lip balm on. So let me do that. It's funny, the water tastes very subtly of plaster. But gotta enjoy it. Let's put some lip balm on too. Make sure the old lips don't dry out or get sunburned. Yeah, SPF 50 plus. My goodness. It's all the same over 30 anyway, but it's nice to have sun protection. Don't want to get sunburned on my lips like last year. That wasn't fun. And not vanilla plaster then, no, Sibley, unfortunately. Got to protect against those 50 suns. Yes, of course, Rhacodactylus. Tatooine, eat your heart out. 2 suns? No. Binary sunset? Try 50 suns. That's Wyoming. No, I'm kidding. Wyoming would have more suns than it has people, practically. This is the least populous state in the U.S. Fewer people live here in wide, wild, and windy Wyoming than live in tiny little Delaware or Rhode Island. I think there are fewer people living in Wyoming than live in Washington, D.C. There's almost twice as many people in San Francisco. Just in that little 7 by 7 square mile, or 7 mile by 7 mile city, one of my hometowns, California, then live in the entire state of Wyoming. It's a very sparsely populated state. Wide open spaces, wild territory, wilder weather sometimes. That could hit us. There's rain in that. Hopefully it goes that way and misses us, because otherwise I might have to end the stream. Anyway, so it goes. Life in the field. And Guam has fewer people. Really, Care Bear Bonfire? Yeah, but Guam is not a U.S. state, unfortunately. It's like a colony. A territory, I guess, is the kind way to put it. The official way to put it, but it's a colony. You know, these things work. American Empire. And highest carbon emissions per capita, 15 times as many as California? That's nuts. Wow. Yeah, not a lot of public transit in Wyoming. Everybody drives a pickup truck or a big souped up sports car that's about 15 years beyond its prime. It's the kind of thing you see out here. And Ridla, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Excellent. Appreciate your contribution, your support. It means a lot. Thank you for that. Yes. And Anonymous says, not your Prius, though. No, that thing's been doing great. The really funny thing is, I was driving out to the Barnum Brown Hadrosaur site a few days ago, and the Cincinnati crew were there in their giant Jeep Wrangler Lariat or whatever it's called. Gigantic Jeep Wrangler. And they're bouncing around all over the place, and they're behind me. I'm in my Prius, on these rough like 2-tracker mountain roads, and they're like, we were jealous. You're just there nice and smooth in the Prius, going over this rough terrain. So they were amazed that I made it up there, because they almost got stuck a couple of times. Sometimes it just pays to have a smaller vehicle, You could have a really gnarly off-roader with gigantic tires, but if it's too wide and too heavy, it can get stuck. Sometimes it's better to have a little Prius or something, even on really rough mountain roads like that. Yeah. One of the trucks got stuck the other day, and they had to kick it into a 4-wheel drive low and kind of rock it back and forth in order to get it to come out of this gully. And it's like, no, in the Prius you just go around the gully. It's narrow enough that you can do that. And does AAA work when there's no roads? I don't know, Ms. Blue Skies. I do have AAA. I've never had to use it. You make a few modifications to a Toyota Prius and it can do amazing things. I've got a 2-inch lift on it, which allowed me to get larger tires, which are good on-road and off-road. And I've got a steel skid plate for the underside, in order to keep the catalytic converter from catching the sagebrush on fire or anything like that, and also protect the underside, protect the oil pan from getting gutted by rocks and stuff. And a few other modifications I made to it over the years. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid. Love my Prius. And it's not a plug-in Prius, Crimson Carnotaurus now. It's a 2008, before they had the plug-in ones. It's just a regular hybrid. Do you encounter many snakes out there in Wyoming? We've seen a few, Bingo Ray. Yeah. We've had a couple of gopher snakes and I think a king snake so far, but no rattlers. A little disappointed, honestly. We're only a little bit less than halfway through the month. I haven't seen a single rattlesnake out here yet. I kind of like seeing rattlesnakes every once in a while. They're very considerate snakes for the most part. Like, you walk by, they let you know that they're there. They'll rattle. They're like, hey, I don't want you to bite me. I don't want to bite you, but I also don't want you to step on me. I'm going to rattle. I'm going to let you know that I'm there. You back away. I'll back away. Everybody's happy. You know, they're very considerate snakes. I haven't seen any yet. Although we had 3 in camp last summer in Utah. They're called like pygmy faded mountain rattlesnakes, if I remember correctly. And they were really cool. I caught all 3 of them. Went and relocated them away from camp, so everybody was happy. Let's see. Rattlesnakes are very chill. They are, Edmanta, they are. And Where Ducky says Puerto Rico has more people than the 4 least populated states combined. Yep. Yeah, I think Puerto Rico's population is like 5 million or something. And that island's only like 50 miles wide, right? Yeah. Wyoming is, it's pretty sparse by comparison. A lot less rain. And Nana Tyrannus says, Danny, you better be careful. You know me, Nana. It's good to see you, Nana. I love you. I hope you're doing well. We're having a great time out here in the field. And, you know I'm careful. Yeah. I treat snakes with respect and every other critter out here. This is my 13th summer in the field, digging fossils. And, I don't know, it's good to have that kind of experience. It's also important to not get overconfident. So, always remind myself of that, too. Anyway, it's good to see you, Nana. I hope you're doing well. That's my grandmother in chat, everybody, if you're not aware. Nana Tyrannus. Show her some love in the chat, if you could. And hearts in chat for Nana Tyrannus. Thank you, Claire Burr. Yeah. Good stuff. And Barvid Digitai says hi. Hi to you, too. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Glad you're here. We're digging up hopefully a brand new Ceratopsian dinosaur, a new horned dinosaur. We just found a browhorn last night, or just realized it was a browhorn, really. I didn't want to think it was. I was digging it yesterday morning, and I'm like, this could be one of the horns, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high. And it looks like it's one of the horns. So we're very excited about that. We popped open the champagne last night. Scarlet Orchid NZ, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. Good stuff. Here, let's go take a look at those horns if we can. And Murph says, question, the sites are at slightly different levels, so maybe different ages? Yeah, you bet. In order to make sure that we understand what's going on here stratigraphically, in terms of the rock layers, we take what we call a strat column, like a strat section at each of these sites. So we'll get a, like, 1.5 meter tall, like pole or stick, and then we've got a little compass on top that we set there with various spirit levels and other dials and gizmos, and we use that to make sure that it's level. And then we do line of sight into the hillside, and that way we can measure, even in really rugged terrain, we can measure how tall the hill is, and we can measure out where the different rock layers start and stop. And so we can kind of see this environment change over time. So I'll show you this up in the quarry. And then we can kind of cross-correlate those different strat columns together. And we can figure out which of the sites are older or younger than the other ones. And we get a really good idea of how these environments are changing, when these different dinosaurs had died, all that stuff. Really important to collect those kinds of data. Because that's how you understand, the evolution of life through this particular time and place. So coming back to the quarry here, you'll notice a change in the rocks. Here in, we've got our big jacket there. We've got this kind of silty, like organic rich mud in here. So, yeah, kind of grayish like that. And then this black stuff in here, bits of plant matter. So this looks like it was probably an ancient oxbow lake or something like that. Maybe next to a meandering river where you get lots of plant material accumulating, kind of a swampy habitat like that. We can tell this both based on the consistency of the rock. This is, you know, kind of a friable mudstone, kind of blocky too, with lots of organics, very organic rich. And then we move up where Quinn's elbow is right there. We get into this blocky kind of yellowish sandstone. That represents flowing water, like a river system with all the sand at the bottom of that river. These are the kinds of changes that we watch. We're very careful to document here so we can tell what's going on in this environment. And if we see the same transition from this kind of environment to that on this hillside, you might be able to spot it on other hillsides too and kind of correlate it. Say this is the same time here as it is there, that kind of thing. It's a little bit more complicated than that because things thin out and they thicken up in certain geographic areas, and yeah, but these are the kinds of data that we're accumulating, that we're collecting in order to be able to paint a picture of what this ancient environment was like and how it changed. So right there, Quinn is working next to our brow horn, and look at that, it just keeps going.
Check that out.
Heck yes.
I'm nervous about this now.
That doesn't look like bone, but let me take a closer look. Yeah.
It doesn't really to me either. It just
Good being cautious.
Now my iron eyes are
blocky. Yeah, that's mud.
It's definitely going.
Yeah.
Way more into
it looks like it's kind of curving up almost as it goes in, which is exciting, but also kind of nerve-wracking.
A little bit.
Yeah. Nice. So you've exposed all of this right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Slow going work, but Quinn is an old pro at this. And oops, sorry. I didn't realize your phone was there.
Oh no, you're cool.
I'm messing stuff up. Didn't want the paper towel to blow away. Yeah. Yeah, nice work, Quinn.
It's exciting. It
Yeah.
is slow rolling just because I'm
Definitely.
extremely nervous about bringing this stuff.
This isn't. It's a very important specimen. It definitely is.
Yeah.
But man, super exciting. Yeah.
Millimeter by millimeter.
Oops, Kaput says, why nerve-wracking? Because you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to break anything. But Quinn's been doing a great job so far. And it's nice that like most of the rock seems to be separating really nicely from the bone in this area. So I was working on that all yesterday morning, and the rock is very obliging. It just kind of lifts right off of the surface. If you're careful about it.
Would you want to break a holotype bone? I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be a new dinosaur here, Chad. The first one ever found of its kind, you know, and it is so far. It appears to be like one of a kind. So we're working slowly and carefully. And Nick is over here, of course, doing the same thing. Around, we've got some mystery bone here. We don't really know what that is.
A bunch of bone fragments that fell off.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
blew that. I don't know where they came from or what they even are.
It could be that a lot of this stuff is like pre-burial break too. So like these are ancient breaks over here. That's what I'm guessing.
Absolutely. And yeah, a lot of just kind of surface collection here.
Yeah.
So working my way around it.
Yeah. Nice.
See what else I get exposed.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is how it goes, chat. AKA Vari says, that looks like a very comfortable excavating pose. Wait, which one? Are you being sarcastic? You know, we're just living in the lap of luxury out here. You know, butts on the rocks, wind blowing in our faces and everywhere else. You know, getting visits from wasps and flies, and thankfully not mosquitoes yet, but I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Covered in spider bites.
Yeah. And Admanta says, bold of you to be sure it's not a juvenile of an existing species. Well, that's the thing, is we don't have any existing species from this particular time and place. And so it stands a very good shot at being new. just based on that alone, but also based on the morphology, based on the shape of the bones that we have. It looks distinct from pretty much everybody else that we know of. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And yeah. Also, it has huge brow horns, says Dr. Dromaeosaurus. Kind of hard to believe it'd be a juvenile. Well, I mean, depends what you mean by juvenile. Yeah. Is Triceratops a juvenile Torosaurus? You know, what do we mean by juvenile? And, yeah. A lot of this stuff is still kind of at the forefront of dinosaur paleontology. Like, this is frontier stuff. Still figuring it out. It's still the bleeding edge of dinosaur fossil science. Yeah. And Amanda says, I love being wrong. You know, I do too. I love being shown that I've been wrong about something because it means I've got a chance to learn something new that I never knew before. That's kind of one of the cornerstones of science. One of the most exciting phrases in science, too, is I don't know. Because that means that there is something exciting left to be discovered. It's one of the things that drives us. And we're getting some wind, and we're getting some clouds headed this way. Those curtains of rain could conceivably get us. Or they could pass on that side of us. We will see, but we're feeling a slight drop in temperature here, and got some wind. There's some weather coming in. Yeah. Let me tell the boys. Hey, Quinn and Nick, we might have some rain in a little bit. There's a curtain that might hit us or it might miss us, just so you know. Yeah, feel that wind pick up.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And find anything interesting? Holy cow, yes. We've got a horned dinosaur here. And we've got horns from it. This stands a very high likelihood of being a new species or even a new genus of dinosaur. Pretty excited about that. And will you stay up and protect the brow horns all night? Asks Care Bear Bonfire. No. We'll cover them up carefully and lovingly and leave them here overnight. Because that's how this works. Yeah. But we will have an armed guard on site, obviously. And, you know, fully automated high caliber turrets with laser rangefinders, you know, automated anti-aircraft missile systems, etc. So don't come snooping around. And you know, those dinosaurs are sure making enough noise for being bones. Very funny, time worm gecko. That's... Were you talking about the crew members? Or are you talking about the wind? And A10 flying cat. There you go, Clipper, yeah. And AKA Vari, that's the most common question I get out here, I think. How do you determine where to start digging? The easy answer is you look in places where people have found dinosaur fossils before, because you know the stuff is out there. In 1937, Barnum Brown, the guy who discovered T-Rex, he was working here in Wyoming in the Almond Formation, and he reported finding dinosaurs here, but never named any of them and only collected a few of them, some of which were subsequently lost, and some of which remain in museum collections to this day, undescribed. So we know that there were dinosaurs here originally. Other people have found them here. But say you're going out to a totally new area and you want to find dinosaurs. Well, you got to find rocks of the right age, rocks from the age of the dinosaurs, and rocks from the land from the age of the dinosaurs, because dinosaurs didn't live in the ocean. So you need terrestrial strata from the Mesozoic. And then you look at your geological maps, you figure out where the bedrock dates to the Mesozoic. And then you look at your satellite images and Google Earth and stuff like that. You look for territory like this. Wide open, kind of, I don't want to say barren, because that almost sounds negative. This is beautiful country. with not a lot of vegetation, just lots and lots of exposed rock as far as the eye can see. And then once you've got your land ownership stuff figured out, whether you're working on public land or private land, you make sure you get permission to be out there and to be prospecting for fossils. Make sure you do everything by the book. Then you walk along and you prospect. Prospecting is how we find the fossils in the first place. That's how we find the fossils when we get out here, I mean. So that entails walking along and staring at the ground. Not staring, but eyes darting back and forth. You're looking for anything that might look like bone. Pick it up, you turn it over, and not bone. That's rock right there. So you keep doing that until you find fragments of bone. You might walk for miles and miles and miles before you find a single bone fragment. It's just how it goes sometimes. But sometimes when you're really lucky, and when you have been looking really hard, and if you're very good at this kind of thing, at spotting bone, you spot some bone, you follow it up to where it's coming out of the rock, you find the source of it, basically. And if you're very, very fortunate, you'll find a skeleton there. That's exactly what happened at this site last June, when University of Bath paleontologist Nicholas Longridge was out with us, and he found some Ceratopsian bone fragments. He followed them up, found out where they were coming from, or rather, he called everybody over, and then together we've kind of figured out the bone horizon, where it was coming out. We dug in, and sure enough, the skeleton of a Ceratopsian dinosaur, or at least the skull. We already collected some skull bones last year. This year we came back after getting an excavation permit, and we're knocking down part of this hill, digging in and seeing what other bones are in there. Hope that makes sense. That sounds like a long process. Oh my goodness, it definitely is. Yeah. And you might be out for weeks and weeks and not find anything. You know, there is I forget who it was, like paleontologist or somebody else, who was like, yeah, you can go out to the field, spend months out there in the desert and not get anything but a tan. It happens. And there have been crews of paleontologists who have come out to the Almond Formation, to these particular rocks in Wyoming, and not found anything. They spent like 2 weeks out here. Didn't find squat. I don't know if they just weren't looking hard enough, or maybe they were just very unlucky. Maybe they got really bad weather that hampered their prospecting. But we have been, I don't know if it's lucky, skillful, persistent. I'm sure all of those play a part. But we've had a lot of success out here. Our expedition lead, Ethan Cowgill, is very excited about this. Last night, we celebrated finding the brow horns at the Ceratopsian when we popped the champagne. And he was thinking about it, and he says, well, shoot, we have gotten more fossils out of the ground so far just this summer, in the past 12 days, than they've gotten out of here in the past 3 years. That's exciting. Oh, we got a little mammal over there. Hello, little mammal. Who are you? Can we get close enough to see it? No. Shoot. It looks almost like a kangaroo rat, but it's behind a bush. It's hard to see. We do get lots of little rodents out here. Yeah. Lots of rodents. And then the other mammals I've seen have all been ungulates. We had an antilocaprid, a pronghorn, yesterday, and been seeing some pronghorn out here a lot. Oh, little chipmunk, or a kangaroo rat. Who are you? Oh, stripy chipmunk, right there on top of that rock. Hey, chipmunk friend. Hi. You gonna squeeze under that rock? You can't fit there. Hey, chipmunk friend. What are you doing? You're a pretty one. Right there. Behind the rock. Yeah. It's good to be here. Yeah, I thought he was going to say primates. Yeah, we're the only primates in this area. We paleontologists digging at this site. Yeah. And First animal I've actually seen on these streams says Sci Bouncer. Well, we've shown you dinosaurs, and, you know, we're animals too. We're certainly not plants or fungi. We paleontologists and volunteers, field workers. And 13 stripe? I don't know, Blue Stream could have been. And how often are meteorites found in your digs? I have never found a meteorite on a dinosaur dig. Yeah. I have found micrometeorites by dragging a magnet through a gutter at my old crew chief's house back in North Dakota. It's not difficult to find micrometeorites. Just like find the downspout from the gutter on your roof and find out, like, you know, where all this stuff accumulates after going through the downspout, and just run a magnet through there and you might find little micrometeorites. It's not uncommon. But I've never found one out in the field. Never found either a micrometeorite or a macrometeorite. Antarctica apparently is a wonderful place to find them in certain bases of certain glaciers. Yeah. And just curious, says Conwolf, are you given a timetable to get these fossils uncovered? And will the dig site need more people soon to help? It will need more people soon. Right now they're focusing on another one that's even higher priority. Like, we've got limited time over at the other hadrosaur site in order to get that thing out of the ground. And so, yeah, it's crunch time over there. They've got like a dozen people there at least right now, from what I understand. We just had some, like, 4 new crew members show up an hour or two ago, and I think they're over there helping. Yeah. There's like a 1,000-pound jacket that they've got there. That is going to be tricky. I don't know how they're going to manage that. How we're going to manage that, because we're going to have to help. It's going to be all hands on deck. Yeah, but we've got until the end of June to close out all of these sites for the summer. So June 30th is or maybe even the 29th is when we have to have the vehicles back, the rentals. So, yeah. We got till the end of the month. We're doing pretty well. It's June 12th. We've got a bunch of jackets out already. I can't say we're sitting pretty, but we're making excellent progress. And we are on schedule to get stuff done. If all goes well, we'll get everything done and we'll have a little bit of time left over to go prospect for new sites. So we'll be hiking over these hills, through these valleys and canyons, looking for new fossil sites. And don't forget to hydrate. You bet, Pandasaurus. I will. I have been. And is chat going to be there? Going to be where? Murph, what do you mean? And is the time crunch because of the permit, or is it about the state of the fossils at the hadrosaur site? It's about, yeah, our permission to be there. I guess you could say our permit there. We know we have permission for this year. It's not guaranteed for next year, so we gotta get that done this year. And that particular one requires a lot of manpower, and so that's what they're really focusing on. We here are kind of a small auxiliary crew. We've been entrusted with getting this Ceratopsian out, but this is something that we can return to year after year, we hope, because it's on public land. And we've got a really good relationship with the Bureau of Land Management. But still, we want to get this thing out as soon as possible. There's no guarantee that we'll have funding this. No, it says we're still live. Yeah, good. There we go. Yeah. So, my battery pack in here has just died, and I need that to power both the encoder and the camera. And so I've briefly been able to plug into this, but I won't be able to walk around. So we can just sit here for a few minutes, and then I'll have to end the stream. Because we're running out of battery power. Yeah. Really got to charge that thing overnight. Make sure that we've got enough juice. I wasn't able to do that last night for various reasons. But, so kind of a shorter stream today. We're only going to go until about 5 o'clock instead of 5:30 or 6 like yesterday. But yeah, let me know if you've got any other questions, everybody. And I put plenty of sunscreen on. Don't worry about it, AKA. Yeah. And we can hear those electrons flow. Does it sound loud, Ridla? I mean, this is got a fan inside in order to keep it cool. That's probably what you're hearing. That's our solar battery right there. Anywho. And does the dinosaur you found line up with any known extinction events? Mithras 1, it does not, no. So this is from the, oh, take this off, and, and it hurts my shoulder. Having that shoulder pack on, might want to look into like a backpack or something like that for when I'm in Utah. Oof, there we go. That's better. And it's electrical buzz, like the ground is bad. Oh, sorry, it is, you know, coming out of a different battery source. Yeah. And Ridley says, yeah, it's the mic. Does it get louder when I put it closer to this? If it does, then what you're hearing is the fan. If it's not, then maybe it's some kind of interference. No. Okay. Same volume. Okay. Well, we'll wrap this up in a few minutes here. Yeah. Streaming live from the field is complex. Shoot, we're getting internet from outer space right now, or I guess low Earth orbit. Satellite dish, which is powered by our solar battery, which is being charged by these solar panels. And then there's an internet router that's providing internet to the live stream encoder right here, which is in turn plugged into the camera and the microphone and this battery in here, which died, which meant that I had to plug the USB port, the USB cable into the USB port on the solar battery. So there's a lot of moving parts to a stream like this, and it's difficult to get everything to cooperate at the same time under, you know, let's say, primitive conditions out in the middle of nowhere. But somehow we make it work every day here, and I'm glad you could be here for it. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid here, and I can go back up there and keep digging, which I'm excited about. So let's see who is live right now. Go to watch, and let's see. House, California Burbs, Rocket Sage, and Cyant Streams. Yeah. Let's go right into Rocket Sage. She's doing some geology Q&A, I believe. Excellent. That's gonna be cool. Yeah. Raid. Rocket Sage. Excellent. So Sage is a professional geologist. She both teaches geology and does geological fieldwork and research. And you're going to have a great time there. Now that you've been out here in the field with me, let's get into the office with Sage and talk about geology and talk about the history of Earth. Everybody, thank you so much for... Wait, hang on. Where's the... No, I... Hide for me. There we go. Let's go right into stage, everybody. Thank you for your support. It's the reason I can be out here is due to your financial support, Chad. So thank you very, very much for that. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being out here and appreciating science with me. I appreciate all of you. And I'm going to get this battery charged up. And I'll see you soon, hopefully tomorrow, for another fun paleontologizing field stream. You all take care of yourselves until then. I'll see you later.